So you've decided to help your child learn to read, but then you yourself are not sure of the different sounds in English. You're like confused and helpless. Is it an ah or an o or an oi? If that sounds like you, then watch on, because in this video I'm going to help you learn all about the 20 vowel sounds in English. Trust me, by the time you're done with this video, not only would you have learned the right pronunciation of these vowel sounds, but you would have learned all these vowel sounds by heart, so you can confidently share that information with your child. By the way, if you haven't watched my previous video on the 24 consonant sounds in English, you can watch it right now by clicking on the link somewhere around here. So with no further ado, let's begin. So here is a simple chart that I came up with that has all the vowel sounds that you need to know. I made this chart very kid-friendly, so it's going to be super simple and easy for you to understand and learn about these sounds, okay? So as you can see, I've broken down the vowel sounds into 5 different categories. Short vowel sounds, long vowel sounds, R-control sounds, miscellaneous vowel sounds, and finally we have something called the do not even bother about these sound category. As the name suggests, your child does not even have to bother about the sounds listed under that category. So normally we help the children learn the sounds from the left of the chart and move away towards the right. So children learn the short vowel sounds first. The reason why we go with the short vowel sounds first is because most of the words, especially the 2-letter, 3-letter, and 4-letter words, even some 5-letter words that appear in children's books, use these short vowel sounds. So if your child learns a handful of consonant sounds and these 5 vowel sounds, your child can start reading. Yay! So now let's go through the short vowel sounds one by one and see some examples. So the short A sound is the A sound. For this, just remember that your friend snatched your favorite toy and you scream like ah, ah. So A makes the ah sound, ah, 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 as in angry. Next is our E sound. E makes the sound, sound, okay? So for this, just imagine that you're working out your biceps because you want to look like this, right? So you are exercise, that's the sound that E makes, exercise, okay? And then we have our I, and I makes the I sound, I sound. Just imagine that you didn't wash your hair for a month now because you're a lazy person and you are itchy all over. You're like itchy, itchy, and that's the sound that I makes. And now let's move on to our O, and O makes the sound, that's the sound that short O makes. So just imagine that you did not brush your teeth for a month, and so you've got cavity in your mouth and you need to go to the doctor's office to get your teeth pulled out. You go to the doctor's office and your doctor expects you to say ah, and that's the sound that short O makes. And the last sound in our short vowels category is U, and U makes sound. For this, just imagine that you're going out to do shopping on a stormy day. Although it is not recommended, you prefer to do shopping. And so you confidently pick an umbrella and you walk out. But then the wind is so intense that it's blowing your umbrella away. And so you helplessly watch your umbrella being blown by the wind, and you go, up goes my umbrella, right? So U makes the sound. So let's go over our short sounds really quickly. Remember, A says angry. E says exercise. And I says itchy. And O says doctor's office. Office. And U says as in up goes my umbrella. Okay, so we're done with the short vowel sounds. Let's now move on to our long vowel sounds. And long vowel sounds are very easy because they say the letter names. So A says A, right? So easy, I told you. So A says A. Although this is easy, let's tie them up with some funny actions just to spice things up and to make sure that children remember it faster. Okay, so let's pretend that we are apes. A, ape. And then we have E. And E says, of course, eat. Pretend that we are eating an eel. E. And then we have our I. And I am eating an ice cream. So it's I am eating an ice cream. And then we have our O. And O says O, as in no. Child's favorite word. No. Okay, and finally we have our U. And U says U again, as in unicorn. Just pretend you're a unicorn and you are doing a unicorn dance. You. Okay, so A, E, I, O, U are the 5 long vowel sounds. So far, we are done with 10 vowel sounds. Can you believe, right? I told you it was very easy. Now let's move on to our control sounds. The reason why they are called control sounds is because when an R appears next to the vowel letters, it controls the sound that they make and changes it. For example, when R appears next to A, instead of making the A or the A sound, it makes the A sound. So to remember this sound, just pretend that you're driving a car, looking at the star. You're driving a car, looking at the star. R. Okay? Let's do a couple more examples. Ban. But when there is an R next to the A, it changes its sound. And let's see how it sounds. Barn. Ham. And when there is an R next to A, it is harm. And then we have pat. And when there is an R next to A, heart. Okay? Interesting, right? Okay, so just remember when there's an R next to A, it changes its sound and makes it sound like this. R. Now let's move on to our second sound in that category. We have the OR sound, or. So to remember the sound, just pretend that you are rowing your boat with an oar, right? Or. And you are heading toward the shore, shore, with a basket full of corn. Okay, so it's or. And the third sound in the category is the sound. That's the sound. Okay, so the same thing happens when an R appears next to E, I, and U. What it does is controls its sound and changes its sound to sound something like okay? Father, or bird, bird, or burn. Now let's see some exceptions, because English is so full of exceptions and irregularities. Sometimes even AR and OR, the R and the OR that we just spoke about, make the sound. So let's see some examples and then we discuss, okay? Lizard, you don't say lizard, it's doesn't sound right. It's lizard, okay? And similarly, dollar, Dollar. It's not dollar, it's dollar. It's burglar. Burglar. Both UR and AR in burglar make the sound. Now let's see some examples for OR making the sound. Actor, we don't say actor, it's actor. Actor. Professor. Professor. Work, we don't say work or something like that, right? It's work. I added some exceptions so you know what to expect when you come across words like these, okay? So the three sounds that we spoke about under the R control sounds category are the R sound. When an A is followed by an R, it makes the R sound. And then the OR sound, O followed by R, makes the OR sound, OR. And then we have the sound. E, I, and U followed by R make the sound, but then sometimes A and O also make the sound, okay? So moving on to our miscellaneous word list, we have 5 sounds again. The first is the short sound, To remember the sound, just imagine that when you were a child, your mom gave you some vegetables to eat, but then you shook your head, saying no. Sh, shook. Sh, shook. Okay, that's the short sound. And next is the long ooh sound. For this sound, just pretend that you broke your friend's favorite toy and you're like, ooh, oops, I'm so sorry, I just broke your toy. Ooh, oops. And the third sound is their aw sound. Aw. For this, just imagine that your child wants to wear a yellow pant and a green t-shirt for school. You can't just convince him and you don't know what to do. You're helpless, and so you say awful, aw. That's the sound. The next sound is the oi sound. Oi. Just imagine that your child brought a piglet home and it's going really crazy and you don't know what to do, so you pick it up and you try to calm it down by saying oi, and it's going oink, oink, and you go oi, okay? So oi, that's the fourth sound. The fifth sound is the ow sound. For this, just imagine that you are out walking for a very long time, but then you see a coconut tree and you're so happy. You go and stand under the coconut tree only to regret your decision because a big fat coconut fell on your head and you said ouch. Remember the word ouch. So the fifth sound is ow, okay? Okay, we're done. Can you believe we are done with all the sounds that your child needs to learn to start reading? Okay, I know what some of you might be thinking. Grace, we are just done with 18 sounds. There are 4 more to go. But hold on, 18 plus 4 does not make 20. I know what you're thinking. Because I said 20 vowel sounds, but then this chart has 24 vowel sounds. I will get to it in a bit. Let me first tell you why we have 24 sounds in the chart. Remember the R sound that we spoke about? Well, that sound, I told you, is similar to the short O sound. Sound, short O sound. So that sound is just a duplication of the sound, just redundant. But still, we go ahead and introduce that sound as a new sound to children, just to make things easy and simple for them. Well, you don't have to explain about all these things to your child. This is for you to know, you to understand. And the second sound is the U sound, and U sound is a combination of 2 sounds. If you would have seen my previous video that I did on consonant sounds, we went over the Y sound. Y makes the Y sound. So U is a combination of Y and the long U sound. Y and U, U. So it is not an individual sound by itself, but it's a combination of 2 sounds. But still, we're going to trick our children into believing that it's a new sound, so they find it easy and simple to remember and learn. Okay, so those are the two additions to the vowel list. So if you take those two away, you have 20 vowel sounds, my friend. So now let's talk about the 4 do not even bother about these sounds list. The reason why I named those sounds as do not even bother about the sounds list is because these sounds are tricky, confusing. You will understand as we go over these sounds, okay? So first let's talk about our schwa. Schwa is the most common vowel sound in English, yet it is the most trickiest because all the 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, U, make the schwa sound. Interesting, right? I know what some of you might be thinking. What? Wait, A, apart from making the short sound, the long sound, and the R control sound, and some sounds from the miscellaneous list, it makes the schwa sound? Yes, it does. The next time when you try to decode a word for your child and you try applying the short sound, the long sound, and there's no R next to the vowel, but then, you know, you really literally scratching your head because you can make sense of the word, that is probably because of the schwa. Schwa makes the sound. This sound is just like, just imagine you had a big meal, but then instead of burping really loud, you're just letting out a teeny tiny burp. That's a sound. You know, you don't have to be scared about the schwa because if you know about its existence, it's so easy for you to decode words or to, you know, remember the rules. So let's see some examples. The first word that I have for you is mother. Both the O and the E make the schwa sound. Mother. The next word is banana. We don't say b, a, n, a, n, a, but we say b, n, a, n, a. So the first A and the last A is actually the schwa. Banana, banana. And the next word I have here is sofa. O, sofa. It's not sofa, it's sofa, sofa. And the next word is animal. Animal. It's not animal. The E does not make, the I does not make the E sound as it is supposed to, but in this word it makes the sound. And the last sound I have is upon. The U makes the schwa sound. Well, again, it sounds similar to our short U sound, which is but then it's shorter than that. You know, people call the schwa as the reduced sound. It's so reduced that you hardly notice it in a word. The next 3 sounds in the list are the e, and u. As you can see, A is a sound that we saw already, right? It's the long A sound, but then the sound right here has a schwa next to it, if you would have noticed. A, air, air. People sometimes introduce this sound as an R control sound, but I would say do not bother. You know, if you come across a word which has the air sound as in ch, air, chair, well, go ahead and read it as ch, a, chair. Right? And similarly, we have our ear. We don't say ear. You say e, ear, ear. There is a right in the middle between the E and the R. So it's e, ear, ear. In technical terms, we call these sounds as diphthongs because they are a combination of 2 vowel sounds, but you don't have to bother really. You don't have to know, you don't have to really try and understand these sounds. That's why I label them as do not even bother. But the only reason I'm trying to go over these sounds is because when you come across these sounds, you know, you shouldn't get confused because of the difference in sound that you hear. So this is for you to learn about the existence, but again, you don't have to bother. The last sound is the oor, 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 poor. You don't say poor or tour. You say poo, poor, tour, tour. So there is the schwa between the u and And so it's the OOR sound. So that's it for today. We are done with all the 18 sounds that your child needs to know. So let's quickly review all the 18 sounds that we did today. So the first sound is our angry, exercise, itchy, doctor's office, office, and up goes my umbrella, and eating an eel, remember? I'm eating an ice cream, and oh no, and you turned into a unicorn, you dancing like a unicorn. And then R, what are you doing? You're driving a car, looking at the star, remember? And then we have our or as in you're rowing a boat with two oars, or and you're heading to the shore with a basket full of corn. And then we have our sound as in father. And then we have our miscellaneous sounds, shook, and ooh. Oops, I broke your tie, remember? Ooh. And then you have our awful. And the fourth sound in the miscellaneous category is our oi sound. Oi. Remember, you are trying to calm the crazy little piglet that your child brought home. Oi. And finally, we have our ouch, ow sound. Ow. And then in the do not even bother about the word list, we have the teeny tiny burp, right, sound. And then our and we're not going to bother about these sounds, but as parents, you're going to just look out for the schwa sound so you don't end up, pulling your hair out while trying to segment a word or trying to blend a word. Okay, so I guess that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then show me some love by liking this video so I know that I was not just sitting and talking to a camera, but I was talking to real people. So give me a like and also comment below if you found this useful, and share it with your friends if you feel that they would be benefited as well. I'll see you again in my next video. Till then, take care and bye for now.